coming out. We'll start off as we normally do with a prayer request list. We need to remember Miss Lisa Hembry as she's recovering. We need to remember Jennifer Rector, her mother is sick. We need to remember Miss Robin Moore, her great aunt passed away, Miss Esteline. And we also need to remember the Apple family and the passing of Donnie.
Yeah.
Are there any others that we need to add to this list? If not, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you for another day of life, Father, for the breath you give us, for every blessing that we've been given to be able to be here tonight. We want to thank you for that. We want to pray for those that were mentioned on this prayer request list that might not have the health we do, or they might have lost loved ones, and we just want to pray that you'll be with them and keep your hand on them. Father, we want to thank you for this school system. Thank you for every person that makes it what it is, for every teacher, administrator, employee, whatever they may do. We just want to thank you for them, pray for them. And most of all, we want to pray for the children in this system and pray, Father, that we always do the things here at these meetings tonight that will best benefit them. Father, we just want to pray as the floods are coming down, Father, that this sounds like this week may get pretty bad. We just want to pray that you'll keep this county safe and everyone in it. And Father, just pray that you'll be with us each and every day of our lives. These things we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, there. Okay. We'll start off tonight with a presentation. Mr. Ryan Ball, you'll come forward.
Could I say something while he's getting up here?
Yes.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank especially our mayor, Mr. Mason, and I'll tell you why. We tried for months to get that passed through and got it through. It's a wonderful thing for the county. It's going to save our maintenance people. Miss Kittrell called me today. She said, Mr. Smith, you can't imagine what it's done for our morale of our campus. I'm going to let Joe say a little too. He's been out there. The lighting's already up. It's amazing. And we'd like to, depending on how long, we're not here forever tonight, and you'd like to, if anybody in the crowd or the board, we'd love for you to go up there and see our first school. It's on automatic sensors in the gym or in the cafeteria when you walk in. The lighting will be lifetime lighting. It's not even figured into the equation of cost. You ought to hire me sell it for you, buddy.
No, you may. You do
Hey,
that.
I'm just telling you, you're a salesman, but this is the real deal. It's unreal. It's not only morale, but what it's going to save us. And again, I want to thank you, Mr. Mason, and our board and county commission for getting that through. It needs to happen. We spent a lot of hard work to make that happen. Thank you.
No, look, this is fun. I know you guys more than anyone. I mean, plus it's close to where I live, so I don't mind coming here at all. But we're all friends, and I'm excited for it to be done. I do have a little. Mayor, thank you again for stepping in and making things really happen. And I mean, however we can be of service, right? I mean, this is not a one and done. Hey, buy this stuff and move on. I mean, we're, I said it all along. We're married. You're stuck with us for the term of the contract, and hopefully through that term, there'll be a lot of people learn a lot about the project and what's going on. So I do have a little bit of an update just to share. Speaking of lighting, so all of the material it's here on site. So it's came in from China. It's ready to go. Just kidding. It's here. And the crews, they hired an extra lighting crew to come in. They're anticipating the lighting to be done. And this is from engineers, so it's super conservative. These guys, when they get going, they move really fast. It's saying by July 1st on lighting, all the schools will be done.
They've got Union Heights, the lighting, phase 1 and 2, I think is complete. We like the updated urinals and all that. It's going to save on the water bill and so on.
Yep.
But the sensors got in today. They worked on Carthage Elementary School. We had the left wing, I think, about completed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know how much they got done. I didn't get over there today, but it's really going up quicker than we anticipated with much less stress. So we're not getting a lot of complaints from teachers or students, actually all compliments, which is a great thing.
The only thing I hear when all the lights go on, it's like it might show, or there might be something that
That's going to be the next phase. It's so bright, it shows everything. It's gonna make us keep, in turn, and keep schools cleaner, I think, so we have to.
You know, the gyms, you know, that's where it really shows off once they start going after drinks.
For those of us that's been in Smith County, when you walk in and turn just like Mr. Towns, it takes you 15, 20 minutes for the lights to come on, if lightning. Yeah, I had to go out there like a kid and play with Miss Kitchell, for flip them on, flip them off, flip them on, I mean, in the Brady, I'd say.
Don't break it.
What's the 700 or 800, what's the percentage of the actual, like 700 or 800% better than what's in there?
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
it's unbelievable.
yeah, the lighting
Looks like you
levels-
do surgery
Yeah.
on the floor. Looks like a new gym.
You know, and all the stuff that we talk about, really the lighting is the one thing that people can kind of see immediately. I mean, you expect the rooms to be comfortable and cold and warm when they need to be, but usually lighting is pretty quick. So they're saying that the whole district will be done by the 1st of July, and I think that'll be a lot sooner. They just are super conservative on their dates, so you don't say, you know, Ryan, you said May, and here it is, you know, June, and beat me up. The water piece is in the contract, so the water has some of the china, like urinal toilets and things like that, that are being replaced. Some of the existing urinals and toilets are okay, but we've adjusted some of the valves so it saves on water. So some of that stuff we didn't need to buy if it was in good enough shape. That is supposed to be done, completely done by next week. So Barry, I know you said there were some things with the water, but all the water and water savings and water infrastructure, that should be done next week. Those guys move really fast. Your mechanical piece, so all your mechanical systems that we could fit in the project, a lot of that stuff's going on now, and we have your water source heat pumps and all those things. Those are here on site too, and they're saying those are going to start. They're going to start putting those in on Monday, and they're again saying August 1st, which it's going to be before that. I think some of the stuff is just when school's out, they want to really, on the boiler and everything, they want to get moving on that. On your, now when all this is all said and done, all your building controls and building automation, so all those systems that are going to be operated by your phone or whoever has access to it, those guys have already done the drawings and the engineering behind it, so it's ready to go. But that can't really happen until all the systems are in place. Once those systems are in place, then we can control all the systems. And so again, they're anticipating August for it to be completed. So really they're saying August is worst case scenario, everything's done. So before school starts, you should be, famous last words, you should be good to go. But you know, now the construction manager, he'll be back out here Friday, and he told me I just talked to him a while ago. He's going to give another update on some things. So I think he's with David, probably walking around. But that's all I got. I'm glad y'all are happy, and you know, earlier on I was like, you're gonna like it, you know, trust me. And then as more things happen, hopefully you get some really positive feedback, and teachers are more comfortable, and everybody can see better, and you win more ball games when the gyms get done, and you know, everything will be good. So.
Well, it's exciting. I hope y'all get an opportunity. Joe, you've seen.
Yeah, I'm saying it looks real good.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It shows the dirt too.
Well, and it's, you know, through a lot of hard work and people understanding it, not many times you get a chance to basically get that if you understand it for free. 1%, I call it a handling fee, but that's not much for what we're going to get for.
No, you guys, I mean.
And we didn't even calculate, one thing conservatively, you're not calculating our labor putting in lights, we're not calculating the balance and the replacement bulbs that are going to be here for our lifetime, basically. You know, I'm sure there'll be some flaws, but
Yeah.
pretty neat.
You can imagine all the school districts in Tennessee. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are doing this. A lot of people might do a little bit here and there, but for you guys to kind of have that vision and like, let's just do it under the state program, and this is one headache you don't have to deal with for a long time. Your equipment's running good. You got us on the hook to make sure we do our job, and there's no risk onto the county. I mean, all this is covered through our guarantee. We just finished a job up in Carter County. It was 15 years. We just finished the job. This one was a 3.1. Theirs was a 3.2 million, and they end up saving over 15 years $5.6 million. So these kinds of projects, when you think about money that had you not done certain improvements, all those dollars the utility is getting, that's all going as a business to those electrical utilities. And so it's, you give the utilities less money and you put that into your buildings, and that's what you guys are doing. So our conservative numbers are just that, but it's almost like, when we don't know until the projects are done, but Carter County, I mean, we just finished a 15-year project with him, and almost $6 million that, you know, and the project was 3, so almost double what we told him, and it was the same stuff y'all did. So I think you'll be happy when it's all said and done. But that's, you know.
Well, we spent a lot of time to get in the first group. Again, Mr. May, appreciate you immediately working to get that put through.
Yeah.
Because it's a shame. It's a great thing, and a little bit along these lines too. While you're there, can you talk a little bit about their STEM project? And I know
No, it's supposed to be a surprise.
we're very excited about this too, because he's a partnership in this, and it's going to be pretty much cost-free for the county, because we done, Linda and 3 or 4 or 5 in here's been working on it. We worked on it some today. It's a really neat thing, the STEM. Can you talk just a minute about what all the different, even with Dr. Connie Smith, what she's going to be possibly?
So part of what we do, right, and I don't want to, I'll shut up. Now, you all know I like to get talking and I talk too much. Yeah, so we've got a steam machine, really catchy. So Dyer County did a STEM bus. It's boring. It's not as cool as steam machine. I'm thinking of Scooby-Doo and the Mr. Machine or whatever. But yeah, so it's just going to be like kind of a rolling STEM lab, and they know more about it than I do. And there was a grant that there was some money set aside to make it happen. I was just talking to our solar guys we use sometimes. They're going to donate some solar panels for free. And then, I just heard that there's some lighting. They want to put some LED lights in it. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll just call the lighting guys that are here. And I think there's 6 fixtures. I'm like, well, there shouldn't be a problem me asking, like, will you give 6 fixtures? You just got paid for doing this job. I expect you to donate. So that'll be something else that we're doing. So, yeah, I mean, so I think, is it UT or Tennessee Tech or someone's got a STEM bus that they take around?
Discovery Science Museum in Murfreesboro has one.
Okay.
And Johnson City Schools.
Johnson City, and then and then Dyer. So again, there's 95 counties, and not to count all
Some of
the.
them are STEM, ours is STEM, we're including
Okay.
all the arts.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, what y'all are doing is I think that's really neat. Next week, I'm going to are you going to the STEM summit? There's a STEAM, whatever summit at MTSU where Dr. Connie Smith will be. I'm kind of co-hosting it with her. And
When she's having it, what, the 25th or 6th or
yeah,
something like that?
yeah. You're going, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some things, but something else that I'm trying to do under her program that accredits the schools and gets additional funding and everything from the state and additional recognition. I'm trying to work in to cover the cost of her program as part of it. So when we get done with construction, there might be some money left over that we kind of built in that things happen. So I'm hoping, if everything goes well, which it is so far, that we can take that little extra money and pay for advanced ed's STEM program that won't cost Smith County anything. And so that's just an accreditation, something a little extra we're trying to do.
I think it's amazing some of the engineering things that can be in that we can schedule at each school and for nothing, basically. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
My point being, though, about this whole thing, if we look outside the box, guys, there's some things out there that are free that nobody's doing, and that's one way we've been fortunate in our budget and everything else. I mean, there's ways, but we got to take some gambles and do some things that people are not doing. I mean,
Large school districts with all the resources, they're not doing anything. I mean, there's teaching and, maybe a little bit here and there, but, for what you guys are doing, and I mean, this is something that a lot of people just aren't doing, so you should be proud of it. I mean, it's an accomplishment, and I think as you guys will continue to build the momentum up with STEAM and STEM and all these things, people are going to be like, what's going on in Smith County? So it's pretty, I'm glad we're a part of it, and however we can help. So keep asking me for stuff. I mean,
we have.
What are you going to say? Like, hey, Smith County
You make us the show place.
Yeah, why
That
not?
we'll sell for you. Bring them on.
Hey, man, I'm good. Let's do it. That's all I got. Anything else in here?
The board may have something.
Any questions?
Questions?
No comments, questions? Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you for your time.
Let me say this too. Every school is getting upgraded lighting. So every school is getting something depending on the need level and so on. So probably what Union Heights got is about the basic you might get because of the need. Some of the schools needed boilers, and they were fortunate to be able to work this in. And this grant for, I think I say it's patched with Band-Aids and bubble gum. We got the original boiler went in Smith County. We cringe every day. Scared to death because the elementary school's getting upgraded, so much needed.
Much
Very
needed.
excited about it.
Much needed. All right, if there's no more comments, we'll move on. Let's move to our consent items. We have a motion on our consent items.
So moved.
Mr. Apple, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lewis, any discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have our superintendent actions. Get a chance to look through those. We'll move on to new business A. This is policy amendment 4.602, class rank. Do we have a motion on new business A?
So moved.
Mr. Shoulders, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? And this is also the second and final reading. This was what the high schools both agreed on, everybody. This was the policy that everybody agreed on, okay. Just double checking that. If there's no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. New business B. This is the approval of the architectural engineering proposal for the GHS property on Stonewall Highway between Design Innovation and Alman Engineering and Smith County Schools. We have a motion on new business B.
So moved.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lewis.
It's a lot of money. I guess what, Mr. Chairman, have we, and you just overlook my ignorance, like everybody else trying. Have we made a decision that we're gonna do some kind of building on this property over there, and therefore we need this, to spend this money on the engineering report or whatever? I mean, what are we doing? That's again, I'm just asking, I'm not trying to be hypercritical, but that's a lot of money.
This is something that, with that property, we will have to do at some point anyway. I mean, this is a study, you're gonna have to do these type studies that, if you ever want to sell the property, if you ever want to use a property, you're gonna have to.
The way it was explained to the engineers, Jake, if you're considering giving the baseball, softball area off, you're gonna pay a lot of this already into that cost of cutting that off. And, you know, we're making that, what am I trying to say, like fitting a piece of puzzle together so they can maximize the property value. So if you decided to sell it, they felt like it would more than, I know they're getting paid, but on the other end of that, I think for that amount of money, it would more than pay than any studies done if you got ready to sell it back off.
To get your money back home. So basically, we're asking them to do an engineering architectural proposal to see if this property would be suitable for a baseball, softball field.
Well, they would start like a layer. They'd start your base, let's just say, and this is not correct, I want to make that clear, okay? Let's just say you're cutting one side or the other off. You just want a perfect whirl and give that to the baseball and softball. They would want to layer that so that even, like he said, if you remove dirt here, you take it somewhere. So you'd go ahead and have by engineering the entire property, when you took, say, dirt off to the baseball field, you might build up an area while you done it. This would show where that would go. It would show the yardage of dirt. My understanding, that's more of a brine, what y'all do.
For your future,
But it would already
plan.
lay out whether you built a high school, middle school, elementary, or no school. It would done have a plan laid out of where these pieces would fit versus just going in there and putting a field in the middle where it was the cheapest, so to speak.
Okay, and now, again, and I'll ask the board for just a little bit of levity here to ease my ignorance. Do we know, based on the railroad and this, that, and the other, that something on this piece of property is even doable? Can we, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'll give you an example. Here's what brings that question to mind. I had the fortune or misfortune, or however you would want to phrase it, get caught in school traffic over there the other day when the train went through. You couldn't throw the BB through there if you blowed out of a cannon. It'd be anything I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the railroad ain't gonna move nothing, I'm sure, to suit us to do something with that property. So, I mean, do we know we can get in it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not on the building committee. I think y'all talk about things like that.
Well, railroad track's gonna be an issue either way you go. You know, you're gonna have to cross railroad track. We build a school over there, any kind of school, you're gonna have to cross it. What the high school's wanting to do is, they're wanting the land closest to the city fire hall, which is
Use
woods.
that, you'd actually bypass a lot of that.
Yeah,
You could plug your
you
traffic.
can go in by the fire hall, cross railroad tracks, and then there's a right of way, hang a right there, and go up into the wooded area.
Like go across the street and go around.
Yeah, go right
Mhm.
right out of the
Basically
high
straight
school.
out of the high
Straight out of the
school,
high school.
or that-
around.
Hair place, I think it is.
Actually, it was a portion of the property
It's on the
that we
southwest
didn't really
part.
know
Yeah,
was
we
gonna
didn't.
be useful, but after they've been in and looked at it,
Yeah,
it
surveyed
looks
it.
like pretty much all of it's gonna be useful.
Yeah, and so they're wanting to put the softball and baseball fields on that end of the property, which is, I call it the woods. It's the growed up piece of property on that end, not the clear land on the other end.
Southwest.
And what Barry is saying here, what this is doing is, you've got to have these studies done to see where this
Yeah,
dirt's
I guess what
going
I'm
to
saying,
go.
it's gonna cost you, the way we're explaining, they didn't give an exact number, but they led us to believe that a lot of that number would be used up in laying those baseball and softball fields out. And so they said, for the minimal more, if go ahead and had it, if you ever did anything, and it would also have it surveyed out so you could cut out if you ever wanted to, so if you don't want it and want to do something else, they'd have their baseball, softball field, and you'd just tack this on to whoever you sold it to, you'd already have what you need.
If you want your permitting, your water permitting, your TDEC, all your permitting, you've gotta have your borings done, it's included in this, you've got to have a set of plans, which they're including in this. So, you're good with your when you get this
They've done the
done,
preliminaries, which they say are good.
you'll be able to
Okay.
permit. If you ever wanna build on, we wanna build a school on it, we'll be able to get a permit. You know, you're gonna have to do this at some point to use the property.
Let me ask another question. And if somebody else has one, please say something, because I feel like I'm asking all the questions. Where does the school play these sports now?
Paris over here.
Is that, I mean, Smith County does the same?
No,
No.
Smith
They've
County
got
has their own ball
Smith
field.
County has their own.
Up on
High Street. But on High Street.
Kind of thing,
Yeah.
wasn't the cost or something. But, so they play over here right now.
Yeah, they would like to have their own fields, because as of right now, down here at Front Parish, you cannot charge 1 penny for a baseball or softball game, because it's sitting on county property. You're not supposed to. Now, I know some of them down the road tried to charge, technically you can't. They feel like if they had their own softball and baseball field, which most of this is pretty much gonna be donated for and fundraisers and things like that.
I think Jamie and Mr. Beard, you can correct it, I think my understanding is way before my time. That property was given over here to Smith County High School. Jonesville has asked for us to do the same thing. They're wanting, as we say before, they give us a number of, if you engineer that into a school, $5 to $8 million to do a baseball, softball complex. Without divulging, I know I can't really, there is some private funding and some private construction equipment that they feel like they can get most of this field, not all of it. They're not going to ask the board for anything. They'll do their own baseball, softball complex.
All right, let me ask this now. They can't charge anything, get into a baseball, softball.
Got it sitting right down here,
Sit over
but you
here.
can over yonder.
Over here behind us, on this complex, that's right behind us right now. They
No,
can't
I'm
charge.
talking about it, it's Smith County High School, they charge for baseball games and they charge for softball.
And soccer games.
Well, I don't know about soccer
Yeah.
now. Don't ask about
They do.
soccer.
So behind us on Crump Harris Complex, if Gordonsville plays there, they can't charge anything because it's county
They're
property.
supposed to for regular pay.
I
If
think
you
what
do
he's saying,
charge,
they
you don't-
do, but
you
they
don't have to-
couldn't,
you
but they've
don't
had
have to
people
pay.
say, I'm not paying. He's saying they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You
the way
can't
that's
enforce
rolled
it.
up is, I think we pay $1 a year to use these fields.
Well, realistically, that land probably belongs to
It
Smith
does
County
belong, it's
Board of Education,
the
but
Crump Parish Park belongs to Smith, used to belong to Smith County Board of
it
Education.
still does.
Instead of,
Now, but, it's used for
Probably does.
county purposes. And, since we bought the land over there, Norfolk's just seeking to try to get a softball and a baseball field. And they're asking for
The property, pretty
the
much.
property. And they ain't even asking for the best piece of property. They're asking for something closer to the school, just in case if one day down the road, the board decides never to build nothing on it, we'll still have that end of the property to sale. Or if we go out and get another piece of property somewhere that's better or something, they could still have their softball and baseball field in there.
Has a principal from the school over there voiced something on that?
Yeah, he's come to the board back, this come up before us before the board even changed, wanting to do this.
I guess that's why.
But at the time, we was thinking about another piece of property.
Right.
And we didn't want to jump ship to, but now, as the water's clearing up a little better, they're wanting to try to go ahead and get this thing started. And they're wanting to try to go ahead, actually, I'll be honest with you, they would love to break ground later on this year if they could, if they get all the permits, all this stuff done. And hopefully, I don't know how long it takes to build a ball field, 2 years from now, let's say, or I don't know
You
if they build
could, you
next
could
spring,
probably
whatever.
play on it in a year, but it wouldn't be a very good park. But you'd probably at least 2 year out if you had the funding.
But to your answer, yes, the principal has come over here and requested the board.
That was before we came, so that's why we're,
But I was on there when up there across from High Street. We Board of Education bought that piece of property, all the way down to in fact, you may have.
I was on the
You
board,
was on the
too.
board when we bought that.
Yep.
We bought that piece of property and it was, Smith County High School uses it for all their sports complex now. But it was bought by the Board of Education.
And
how
they,
much was
And then
getting
their
started?
baseball, softball,
Now that I can't
I don't
tell you.
think he would cure. Mr. Randy Wakefield took out a personal loan, and they're still paying on that. They're about to get it down pretty good.
they come and ask the board,
Yeah.
we built the Wish Beasley Center, and then
Right.
they come and ask the board if they could have the property.
'Cause they got
to build a
donations
softball
to
baseball,
build
So we give them
That
the
Wish Beasley complex, all that was donated, that was,
But one thing I would like to say too, baseball and softball is really growing.
oh, yeah, I
As a
agree.
matter of fact, I was on the warpath today because my coaches over here, we spent quite a bit of money because we did here and at Gordonsville High School because they host 2 county tournaments. Okay, and basketball, the people that came couldn't believe in what kind of shape that, she said, I've never seen one, basically a 16-year-old or whatever that looked like this because we don't let them wear outside shoes into that gym. Well, yesterday I come up here, I knew it was happening. I came up here and I made some of them either go barefooted or go soft-footed. But they're practicing, we're actually looking at putting a drop-down cage on the side because they don't have anywhere to practice. That's the county, you got going, take care on that, and then you got the rest of the schools, just like football, they come in for one baseball team. And they don't have anywhere to practice. They're practicing the gyms right now. And that sport is really growing. We're getting kids probably gonna get drafted this year out of high school in the pros, we think. We don't have anywhere for those kids to practice.
I know this is if you don't mind, Scott, I'm gonna jump in on
No, I
this.
mean,
And I know this is sort of an odd question, but why would we spend $500,000 to build a field to charge people to come to make money back? Does that make sense? Why would we do that?
Well, first
Somebody
of all,
gonna build it and give it to you, I mean,
Do what?
if somebody ain't gonna build it and give it to you, I mean,
The field? I mean, we're playing over here right now for nothing.
well, you are, but it's still not, it's not,
it's
I don't
not
know,
your-
I don't
it's
know of a
not your-
school in Tennessee, they may be. I can't name you a school in Tennessee or Kentucky ain't got their own baseball, softball field.
But who gives the right to the school, who's in charge of saying Gordonsville gets to play every game over here? They've never been denied getting to play a game over here, have they?
They've not, but they
No.
don't say they can't practice
They
every time
can't
they want
practice
to.
every time they want to, because somebody else is playing ball here.
They
Right
have to
before the
share
state
it.
tournament,
They ain't,
right before the state tournament, softball tournament, the field was in A1 shape. They played a softball game the night before, and guess what happened to the field?
Basically, what we're trying to do is balance the,
fair for
Smith
both
County,
sides.
try to make it fair to both high schools. Smith County High School's got it, Lawrenceville don't have it.
And they're willing to foot the bill.
They're gonna foot the bill to do
All
it.
they need is a piece of.
Just
paper.
like
And
they
you're
did.
not spending $500,000.
And just like
You're
Smith
giving
County
them
High
a
School.
piece of that. You still got the whole value of your property left.
Smith
I
County High
guarantee
School,
you, the
they
same
did,
people that
they
was interested in
supported
that
their
property
own.
would want it more because of what they were wanting to do, they'd have a field out there for kids.
So if I'm following you, the cost of the architectural and engineering proposal would be ours. However, once that's done, anything done on that property would be through donations, not through public money, not through.
That was the deal for
that's
that.
it.
Yeah, right, that's the deal.
That was the deal.
And our
that's-
purpose of doing of the engineering is for the whole property. It's,
Yeah,
it's for the
that's-
future
that's not
development.
just for the-
It just happens to enclose that area. It's easier to just deal with the whole area than it just
Well,
pick pieces of it
Again,
out.
because of the runoff, ain't that right, Brian, the runoff and the moving.
You've
of
got to
dirt
have
and so on.
permitting and grading permits, TDEC permits, and you have to do this study, and you have to have a set of plans before you can get even start on any of that.
So none of this was done before you bought the property?
Oh, no.
No.
We just jumped in there and said, let's just buy this property?
Well, we didn't just jump in.
I mean, I'm just
but-
asking,
but
did we buy it without?
We
Why
had
would
some.
you buy it and pay for it and not
We-
buy it?
Huh?
Why would you buy it and pay for it and then not buy it?
I don't understand.
Why would you pay for the study?
Well, that's a $500,000 investment, and if you spend it and you ain't got it, you can't
You got a
use it.
$500,000 investment right now that you could probably get $750,000 for before in the morning.
Yeah, but my opinion is that we shouldn't be buying money in the county to be investment, to be selling it. You
We're
know,
not.
because it didn't come free. The taxpayers are paying for this property.
And they're not, they're doing the study to see what's feasible to put on there at this time.
The only reason I said something about softball and baseball is because that's what it referred to in the thing. I mean, I understand what you're saying, it says softball and baseball, but what it does is give the board a valuation.
What he
of the
explained to us,
property.
they too, unless you give them a plan of what, he said, his exact words were, if you never use it for anything, unless you let them spec out a whole plan, it's really hard to get the permits because they don't know what you had in mind to go over here. Okay? That don't mean you have to lock into it. That means they'll just okay that baseball, softball here to do what we want to. You could turn around and sell it off for somebody to put a factory and a set of apartments in. That's up to whoever bought it.
We didn't buy that property looking to resell it.
No, we
We
didn't.
bought the property to put a school on. And any other school, if you look at Putnam County, they buy property, they have property, and Wilson County has property in different places that they've purchased. I know one right now that we just built a road past in Wilson County that's for a future elementary school at some point. We've done, it's not I don't want it to sound like we bought it for an investment. We bought it to put a school on.
We bought it for future
Yeah.
growth for the school.
We had
And let
we
me
had
say this, too, there's a lot of
$400,000
ill
pretty much.
spoken rumors out there, that wasn't bought with local tax money.
No, it was not.
That was bought back during the Obama stimulus money.
The
that
ARRA,
they were writing us
ARRA
up
money.
each year. There was very little that paid for out of local, if any.
Very, very little. Very, very little.
Because you was on the.
Well, we had three-
I was the one that put it there.
We had 392,000,
$372,000.
of the ARRA money, the federal money that we had to
$372,000
use.
Or lose it.
was not taxpayer money.
It's been sitting there since 1999 or 2000.
$128,000 was out of our fund.
Well, you sure don't wanna lose it.
No, and that
And you
was,
couldn't spend it, but it had to be like for a one-time purchase. You couldn't put it on salaries. That I done rolled it in, I promise you.
But Tommy, if I'm understanding you right, if we approve to do this, which it sounds like we need to do anyway probably, but nobody's gonna come back 6 months from now and say we need $150,000
The build, that's,
No.
that's unless
We
y'all
can't do
chose to
that.
do it, but I would advise you, it wouldn't be what you
I
did.
advise you not to do it either, because that ain't what we done on the other side.
Right, right.
I mean,
Because
we gotta help get them to this point, and we gotta give them a piece of property to get them, just like we did over there.
Just like we did in Smith,
And
Smith County High
then they're
School.
gonna have to take it from there.
Then they gotta deal with it from that point.
Well, I mean, I want to be fair and equitable with
Right.
everybody.
Right,
Every
and that's,
child equal.
that would be
Yeah.
fair doing it that way.
All right.
And Brian, this is more in your field, and the way I understand this is, doing this is if, when they build these ball fields, if there's 100 loads of dirt, instead of mounding it up over here, with this study, they can tell you where
Well, we're
that
gonna have to
dirt
fill in
has
later
to
if
be
they put a
filled,
plant,
and you
a
do it at
school.
one time, instead of piling it up and then turn around and hauling it again.
He says, Brian, and I guess that's
Instead of
correct, he
double
says
handling.
now you've got a computer program, and it'll tell you how many yards that you'd have to take from here to put to here
Right.
to make it.
To level everything out.
It's
It's balancing your sites, what we
Right.
would call you balance your
And it's
sites.
saving you money, because what you're taking off here, you're putting back here, so
Right.
you're doing it.
Okay, I
If you was a
understand.
potential buyer, and not only would it, what you're gonna give them, no more acreage, and with that study, you would more than pay back what this is gonna cost, in my opinion.
And plus, if we ever decide, the board decides, or when the board decides to build a school there, you'd already have this done. You know which one of the two locations, and notice they're gonna do the upper side of the stream and the lower side of the stream. You'll know which,
It would already be laid
it'd
out.
be laid out.
where
This is where the new school's gonna go, here, or it can go here. And then you'd already have that done, you wouldn't have that cost to go.
And what they were talking about too, they wanna lay this thing out so it could hub. You would build your cafeteria, gymnasiums, office space, when you build big enough, no matter what number, you could just add a wing and grow, no matter what you build, elementary, high school, nothing. It would be laid out in a manner that you could keep growing with parking lots, even down to the runoff of the water. That's why it's important to have the study where the baseball field went, where you wouldn't cost yourself down the road, or you wouldn't damage the property if somebody else decided to sell it.
And I will assure you one thing, I can't tell you when, but you will be, this county will be building a building someday, somewhere on that side of the county. I can't tell you what it's gonna be, I can't even tell you when it's gonna be. It could be 50 years from now, I don't know. Could be 25 years from now, but at least you've got 28 acres sitting there. And it's not the best piece of property in the world, but you've got 28 acres sitting right there that nobody has to go out here 25 years from now and pay no telling what to try to get a piece of property. So it's sitting there and it's owned by us. So, and trust me, you will build one day. When? I don't know. What? I don't know. But I guarantee you, you will be building something.
Can I ask one more question? We got the money in the budget for this.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, I'll make a motion, or well, we've already got.
We already have a motion, yes,
Well,
it's just discussion.
Can you make have a stipulation with that? I mean, I'll vote in favor of it as long as that's it. I mean, I don't want somebody coming back 6 months from now, I don't know if our principal's here.
Well, we
They got a ball
we
game
can,
tonight, they're-
we can vote on this, and if something comes back up,
We don't have to vote
we
for it.
don't, we
Yeah,
need
Scott,
to
you have
vote
the
it down.
right
We,
to
we,
do-
this won't, I mean, this,
And
you'll be
I-
voted on
I
before.
want to be fair and equal to every child
what
in
you
the
say
county,
again, Brian,
but I want
about that.
everybody to understand.
If,
Can
if
I
they
say
come back
something? Can I
asking for
say
something else,
something,
it has to come
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the board, we'd vote on it.
This is what the
The
kind of
engineering
discussion,
firm.
this is why we can't get anything done in this
Yes.
county. People don't understand. Those are great questions to educated people if they're watching. We gotta be educated to what's going on to understand it.
And that's the reason I'm asking these questions, you know, a lot of
Yes,
this
they're
conversation
great
took place
questions.
before I got here, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to be clear in what I'm saying. I mean, absolutely, the geographics involved in where the child is going to school and the opportunities presented to them are neither here nor there to me. I want everyone to have the exact same opportunity, the finest thing we can give them. But I do have other things I think that are important I want us to address later on, like paying and things like that I've brought up in here before. So, you know, and I think that's important. So with that being said, I mean, I'm good with this. I understand what you're saying. But if somebody comes back and asks for money, I'm gonna talk all night long against it. I just want anybody.
Like Mr. Schroeder said, it would be what you're proposing, exactly what we feel like Been done at Smith County, you was on the board at that
Right,
time.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
and
Tommy
I
was
was there.
too, and that we're trying to, I'm not doing anything more for them than we done for Smith County High School.
No, I
Just
believe
kind
it.
of trying to keep it level, in other words. In other words, give them a piece of property to do it on, but don't, they do the funding.
And that,
Yeah, and that's what happened at Smith County High
and
School.
that's fair and equitable,
Yeah,
that's all
and
I'm
you know, I
asking.
just, you know, a lot of everybody's on the same playing field.
Well, the only thing I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think we sold the taxpayers, we wanted a place for build a school. Now, we're gonna say, nah, well, 50 years now, we're gonna need a school, but we won't build a baseball field this spring. And I'm not against that. I'm pro sport as much as anybody sitting in here, but I think it's just, and I may be looking at it wrong, but I just wanna throw it out there. That's why I feel like we're saying we need a school, but now, we don't need a school, but we still want to build a baseball field.
And I wanna say, this, I don't know, I don't know what we've ever said we don't need a school.
We just don't know what kind of school we need.
We may not
and
need
when
one.
exactly we're gonna need.
I'm still where we do, I say we need one, but
You're gonna need one.
We need traffic congestion out of Gornsville, but it ain't gonna happen for a long time, so we don't know how to fix it right now. I mean,
But the growth's still there, whether the traffic's there or not. We can't
Well-
do anything with the T-Dot, and we've met on them 5 times, the engineer, that's up to T-Dot. We don't have any.
Yeah, this is getting, yeah, we got off subject here, going back to T-Dot. Have we got any more discussion on the approving the architectural engineering proposal? Because really, we could keep chasing rabbits, it keeps going. If there's no more discussion, this does involve money, so we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Yes,
no.
Mr. Lewis?
Be fair and equitable, I'm gonna vote yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business C. This is approval of purchase of a monitoring system for walk-in coolers and freezers for all Smith County school cafeterias through the school nutrition. Do we have a motion on new business C? Mr. Taylor? Do we have a
Second.
Mr. McCallum. Any discussion?
One comment, long overdue.
Great thing, we have one go down every summer, insurance pay it, but it's still a mess. It's a lot of wasted food, and it actually costs us a lot of energy that we have to overkill for, so I'm glad that you had the vision. We've been trying to get that for a while, thanks.
No more comments or questions? We'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business D. This is a bid approval for cutting and harvesting field hay adjacent to defeated elementary school. We have a motion on new business D.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lewis, any discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business E. This is a bid approval for cutting and harvesting field hay on the GHS property on Stonewall Highway. We have a motion on new business E.
Make a motion.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
This is
Mr.
for
Shoulders? Any discussion?
This is for 1 year only.
Yeah, this is a 1 year.
No, it's just 3 years.
Oh, it's a 3 year, I'm sorry.
3 years.
But it's self-renewed.
Yeah, they pay that every year.
This is up to,
They wouldn't, nobody expressed they wouldn't bid on them for 1 year, because if they put fertilizer and stuff on them, they couldn't recoup the cost
Right.
back.
right, it's up to them to terminate within 3
Yeah.
years if they so choose.
If there's any stipulation on it, I'm sure they wouldn't do this, but what if they didn't harvest it and it got?
They would lose the, it's in there, they'd lose it, they have to cut it, I think it's twice a year, it has to be maintained property. If they don't, they lose the contract.
Or what if they just, being union farmers and we know what we're talking, and I wouldn't assume that would happen, but what if it just sat there and they started cutting around them rows? If we got any stipulation if they're abusing the
It has to
property?
meet, it would have to meet my approval, your approval, and if it don't, we would terminate the contract.
It's
Jamie,
cutting and harvesting.
Yeah, it's stated in there.
Okay,
And
okay.
it wouldn't be just a roll of suffice the
Yeah.
contract, it would have to be the entire property.
So it's just for the hay only, they can go in there and plant corn, or so, they can't
They can
sublease it
plant corn,
either,
but
can
like if
they?
they wanted to grill hay or that kind of thing, I think it'd be fine.
But they
too.
can't sublease it, can they? I think that,
Not without our
They can't,
permission.
not without-
okay, good.
Any other discussion?
Go on.
That's good.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business F, bid approval for 20 P-TAC units, the maintenance department. We have a motion on new business F.
So moved.
Mr. Apple, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Manning, any discussion?
Where are these going at, Brian? These, they done got them placed where they need them, or they just buying them up to store them and need them when we need them?
We're putting the exact same unit in that Johnson's Controls is putting in. Some of them's going to Defeated, some's going to New Middleton. I'd have to go back and look at the list, but
It's the-
nearly, I think we bought 4 extra. We keep about 4 on hand. I'd have to look exactly because they go out, the
It's-
system is size, but
It's the ones that Johnson's not replacing, correct?
yeah, it's the one they're not, but it is the exact same unit, so their maintenance can have the same parts and so on.
So they're just bought as you need them, basically, and then
We
a
try to
couple of
keep a
spares?
few on storage. I think 4, but I may be wrong on that number, but I think he tries to keep about 4 on hand.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. Move on to new business G. This is bid approval for ceiling tiles at the maintenance department. We have a motion on new business G.
So moved.
Shoulders, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lewis, any discussion?
Needs to do that over there pretty bad, don't it, Rick?
Real bad.
I'd like to, we kind of piggybacked off of Johnson Electronics for free, or Johnson Controls. They take them out and we put new ones, and they're gonna put new ones back up for us, so it won't cost us anything. Thanks.
I didn't know that.
Well, you gotta put them back. You took them out, we just put better ones back.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business H. This is bid approval for 2 Type D 78 passenger school buses. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Manning. We have a second.
Second.
Mr. Taylor. Any discussion?
So what's the inside joke on that?
Mr. Manning is the bus expert.
You can buy them cheaper, you can buy a Thomas, but it ain't the same
You can,
spec.
you can buy a Thomas bus cheaper, but it ain't the same spec, and you can buy a Class C bus cheaper, but it's not gonna hold up like a Class B.
Well, I'm gonna get it out there. That was one of the, when I decided I was wanting to run, I got my 25 cylinders. One guy said, why are we running these big old school buses with no kids on them? Is that a legitimate question to ask here? I guess it is. I mean, I ain't had an opportunity to ask it, but
I don't.
somebody in my district said,
Well,
looks like we're running the big buses with not many students on them, and
Marty, I'm gonna tell you
Then
what
I'm
I
not-
told one fellow that told me. I don't know many buses that ain't pretty maxed out, but I can promise you this, if they sit right there at that, depending on where they're sitting, there'll be none on it at some point, none on it when it comes back. So they
So
look
you
like
could-
it's running empty,
looking like
so if they're
it's
on the right
empty.
part of the route and they can't understand that they've done let 42 kids off,
Yep.
they're gonna see 8 on it coming and 8 on it going. But I don't, we're actually 3 routes down, so I doubt they're not maximized. But then there's also the thing that runs to it, that you can't keep a child on a bus more than an hour and a half one way. And a lot of times we'll have one kid, and it might ride or might not, and there's very little difference in the money in a 56 passenger and a 72. And it gives her a lot more flexibility on what she can do with that.
Plus all the parts interchange. You keep all the same, you don't have to buy multiple parts. We got into that when he first came on the board.
Yep, we was
That
running
was
Thomas
his-
built.
Yeah,
Thomas built, Carpenters,
right.
and Bluebirds. And if you, and listen, Marty, I dug down deep.
He did.
And
Yeah.
Mr. Shoulders back on.
Yeah.
That, it's not spec to spec.
Right.
Thomas Built won't give you the same bus as a Bluebird.
Where's this Central States bus out
We
of?
got down to the braking systems in them with
Yeah.
Mr. Manning, so.
Where are they out of?
Also
Central
lights
States?
on your dash, one's lighted, one's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a stickler when it comes to buses.
Where are they from, y'all? Where is Central States bus? Is that a dealer, Brian, or is that,
Central States.
that
Where's
is not the
Central States buses
manufacturer?
at?
They
Is it
are,
Murfreesboro?
Murfreesboro, ain't it?
That's
Murfreesboro,
what
I
I'm
think.
thinking, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
That's got to be the,
parts and service facilities, says Lebanon, 303 Business Park.
I thought,
Lebanon.
I thought their main office out of Murfreesboro.
And it may be the main house, this may just be
It
where
used to be, the
parts.
main office used to be in Murfreesboro.
this company here, Central States?
And you're trying to run a bus 15, now it's up to 18 years, I think, on a D bus. A C bus, I think it's up to 15 years. So a C bus would cost you about $6,500 less, but when you factor in the next 2 or 3 years longer you run a D bus, you've lost your $60-something $100. And that's why, to
It ain't
make
no
the
good.
record straight, I've never bought a C bus. I've never voted to buy a C bus, other than a handicap bus.
Yeah.
We're good on our budget in this.
If you ever drove one, I'll just say that being biased, there's a whole lot of difference in the drive. And there's one particular company I know from, Richard Anderson is a bus supervisor, and there's one particular company, they had one brand that they had a lot of fires, and they quit buying them. It wasn't a Bluebird.
And answer your question, money, that was done years ago, we budgeted to do 2 buses every year.
2 buses every
It's
year.
on a
Every year,
rotation.
because
And
it
she's
got-
kinda got it figured where they come off, their system size.
But years ago, when I first came on, you might not buy any buses for a year or two, then all at once you have to buy 8 buses.
Yes,
And that was a
terrible.
big
Terrible
price.
decision,
So
yeah.
we done that years ago to every year buy 2 buses, and that kept the fleet.
It works out about the right
Right,
percentage to make
right,
it work out.
right.
Unless we get into, a specialized department or something.
All right, any more discussion on new business H? If not, we'll vote. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business I, bid approval for gasoline. We have a motion on new business I.
So moved.
Mr. Lewis, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? If not,
Is this
we'll-
diesel or gas? 'Cause you said the gas, but it says
Catalytic
diesel.
gas.
Gas, new business I.
Not an ethanol.
Oh, wait a
Gas.
minute. I must have skipped
Next
one.
one.
All right, I put 2 of them together. Yeah, next is diesel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. If there's no discussion, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Now we'll go to new business J. This is a bid approval for diesel fuel. We have a motion on new business J.
Make a motion.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. McCaleb, any discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business K. This is a bid approval point of sale for school nutrition. Do we have a motion on new business K?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Lewis, Mr. Shoulders, any discussion?
Could I get, I'm sorry, it might be the same.
It is, yeah, probably.
We don't always take the low bid, but you covered your ears up, we didn't go with you guys. But I want her to explain why we didn't, there's a reason for it. The cheapest, sometimes not always the cheapest.
We actually did go with the lowest price.
Okay, I thought it was because when you added the stuff back in. Wait, some of the board, I think, read it, it don't look like, and I want you to explain why. Okay,
I'm gonna tell you a little bit about our process, so that might be helpful. So this whole notebook is all of my documentation. So any questions you have, I should have the answers.
and she's kept me very informed to this process, but I think it's better to let her tell you where she's done the research on it.
Well, when I first started, I had certain goals for the Smith County School Nutrition Program, and Mr. Smith had a few goals that we've been working on, and in 2 weeks, I am supposed to have a baby. So I had to really, found that out after I had taking this job. So I really wanted to get everything in place. So that's why I have 2 things on the agenda tonight. So, but we chose to do a request for proposal, which is a formal bid process. This particular way of bidding requires a scoring system. And so based on our scoring, price was 30% of the whole process, reference was 5%, 15% was the qualification section, which was based on their company history, how long they had been in, in service, how long they've been in school nutrition, where they're located, and so forth. 25% was specification details, which was a lot of technology questions, and we worked very closely with the technology because we're going to be needing new computers and things of that nature. And then 25% of it was feature questionnaire, which is questions specific to the program, okay? So the system we are awarding was the lower price, and it scored the highest, obviously, with 30% being the pricing. They also had great references. We had visited different districts to see how the program worked. And we feel like we have some great resources out there too for our questions of having some other local districts that have the same system. Now, I will say that the other 2 companies that we were looking at also have great references, but they didn't score as high. So when we were looking at this, we knew we wanted a new point of sale. When the kids come through, they push in their number, that's the point of sale. We take those numbers, we send the claim to USDA, and that's how we get our reimbursement. It also had student eligibility, which you'll hear about free and reduced pricing, and families will have access to fill out their free and reduced applications online with this new system. They also have a menu planning and nutrition analysis module, production, inventory, ordering, financials. And so eventually, down the road, parents will be able to look on there, see the menus on the app is what I'm referring to, on the app, see the menu, see all the nutritional. So if you're a diabetic student, you can see all the carb counts and things like that. This is everything that this system has to offer us. They also had time clock and also where the parents can pay online, which I know is a big interest to the community and parents. So that's just kind of our system. We hope to be able to award that to Meals Plus. They are based out of North Carolina, and one thing that we loved about them is they're willing to come on site and train, and we really need that. We need them to come to us. We don't want to do anything remotely. We're very hands-on here. And they had great support, which with this particular system we have now in place has great support. We want to continue that. And if we have any issues, we want to be able to call them and get someone immediately. And that's one thing that the references have really shared with us, that it's a great support. They're great support. So that's how we kind of did that. Do you guys have any questions? That may be too much.
I do.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm just Scotty, sir. It's not good. First of all, thank you for all your efforts on this. I think it's extraordinarily important. I do like what you said about all of the things that have the ability to do online. We're still going to have a thing in place for individuals in this county that don't do anything online.
Oh,
correct?
yes, sir.
I mean, basic.
We'll have free and reduced applications printed to all students like we always do. They can call us and we can print out reports for them. They can still go to the cafeteria and pay for their lunch bills. Yes, sir.
And then I just ask you this, we're talking about going with, on your recommendation, is Meals Plus, correct?
Yes, sir.
Their bid is $19,485.
And that has, it's 20,870.
Understood this.
That was the initial bid. When it first came in, yes, sir. But once we started analyzing and breaking down the cost, which I have all that as well.
I think that's what they're wanting, so where it was your monthly, the monthly that added it up to make it end up, that was it was kind of unhidden, or hidden in the first bid.
I can see that.
here's what we're looking at.
Yes, sir, and compared to what it was when we first had it. So this is when the bid was opened. When the bid initially come in, it was $19,000. But there may have been, once we analyzed all of their costs, there may have been something that we needed to add. Because what it is, let's say that Primero Edge was another company that had bid with us. Let's say that they offered something that Meals Plus didn't. We had to take their highest price and put it towards Meals Plus to make it fair. Cost.
So I just, and not to drag this out, just so I can
Yeah.
have a good heart here.
Okay.
On the bid request title sheet that I'm looking at is a couple $1,000s less than the one that you're asking to be approved.
Mm-hmm.
However, you think we're better off, and the one you're asking to be approved is actually like middle of the road, based on what I have right here. But you're saying that they meet or exceed the criteria, which is why we're asking to do this
Yes,
one in
sir.
particular.
If you look at Meals Plus, originally when the bid come in, it was $19,485. And I'll be honest, I don't know where I'd have to look back. And the Primero Edge was $17,000 plus the $15,000. Training was very expensive with Primero Edge. So it came to be a total of $33,000. And then right in the middle was a company called Harris that we're not as familiar with, and they were $25,000. So there was about, $5,000, $8,000 in all three. Go down. So
And to answer your question too, Scott, that one, the research has shown, is talking about, still a lot of people pay, but so many people went with a card pay. And we feel like we're very fortunate, the percentage in this county that don't end up paying their bills, okay? But we have a lot of them want to know, can we send it on a card, because nobody don't have cash? So we think we can recoup a lot there too.
yes.
And three things I asked her when I hired her that I wanted her to do short term. I wanted her to have one service. I wanted her to put monitors on all the coolers, and I want a hot lunch program for kids in the summer. And she's done all that while maintaining fixing to have a baby. I'm excited for her. I mean, that's pretty good.
Obviously,
I wasn't expecting that to happen this quick, but we're gonna, hopefully, we'll have an opportunity to feed kids this summer.
We are starting that.
It's a great thing. We should have been, we've had the opportunity, I'm glad now we've got the vision to be doing that.
Yes, yes.
That'll be an opportunity, every kid, like, we'll drop off, say, well, like, let's just say, we'll have drop-off points, and I don't wanna steal your thunder here, but Union Heights, for example, we may say, okay, today, every day at 11 o'clock, our lunch bus this summer will drop meals off for kids in Union Heights. They come and 200 meals may be delivered out there. New Milton might be another. Forks River we'll find different sites across the county, centralized location, and these kids can come and eat for free. Won't that be neat? But I worry more about that, guys, about calling off school. That's my opinion. Tommy's his bus, mine's these kids getting fed. And so many of these kids don't get the kind of meal, and now we can do that at no cost to them.
That's good.
And Mr.
We're
Smith,
one of only now, 5 counties not doing it? 3 to
it's a very low
5?
number,
So
yes, sir.
it's great.
Yeah.
And it's gonna help also some employees that wanna work more.
Yes.
It's a good thing. It's a good win-win-win.
And so Mr. Smith is correct. We're gonna have 2 sites open this year, Smith County Middle School and Smith County High School for the public. Smith County Middle School is gonna be open up for the whole month of June, and Smith County High School is gonna be open up for 2 weeks. But if we see that our future plans is to branch out. We were just kind of.
Her goal would be in time to do like other
Yes.
counties, like I said, drop off.
Drop
If we-
off like he's
If we see
talking
this,
about.
and I think it will be overwhelming, and
Yeah.
there's nothing to say that if I'm a parent, I guess, could I pick up me?
You
but-
can come and eat, any child.
What I'm saying, if I wanted to deliver 40 meals to Union Heights every day,
We could make that work,
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? I just like to see
Yeah.
these kids fed, if we get fed.
We were gonna start small this year, just at Smith County Middle School and Smith County High School, because they already have other programs going on there. And, but we would love to branch out. We've already been talking about, go see how this year works. We would love to branch out to Gornsville, to Union Heights, to Fort Sugar, to Defeated, because we feel like there's needs there. But any child in Smith County can go to Smith County Middle School or Smith County High School to eat breakfast and lunch. And we have hours set for those, and we have flyers ready. We're gonna talk about that at the principals meeting on Thursday. We're ready to go. We've got our advertisement ready, we've got employees ready, we're ready. And so we do hope to branch out in the future and expand. And even like my nieces are from Lafayette, if they were visiting me, they can go and eat there as well. It's any child under 18 years and younger.
You've done an
That's pretty neat.
exceptional job
Yeah.
bringing that
That's
time.
pretty neat. I bet, I've wanted that since I've been in this for a while. I think that's a good thing for a kid.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, and so is the staff. And school nutrition's been working really hard since July to get all these things in place, and we're excited that it's all working out. So,
Well, I'm excited for you. We can stay here all night and talk about what our kids don't get how big that. You've done a great job. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you. If you have any other questions, I'm going to be here. So,
Thank you, Ms. Dye.
Thank you. Congratulations.
thank you.
All right, we have a motion. There's no more discussion. We'll roll call, Mr. Manning.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Let's see, next we have policy review. Anybody have any questions on any policies for January? If there are none, do we need of executive session? No need of executive session? Next meeting will be March the 19th, 5 o'clock right here. And everybody be careful. Weather looks like it's going to get bad probably for the next week, so everybody just be careful. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr.